Welcome inside episode 545 of the Locked On Senators podcast. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller in the heart of our nation's capital in Ottawa, Ontario. And we're going to have boots on the ground tonight when the Ottawa Senators host the New Jersey Devils.
And Ross, we had boots on the ground for the Ottawa 67's playoff game last night, and there was 2 overtime goals scored? Huh?
We're going to get a full scouting report on Tyler Boucher and take a look at other Sens prospects around the major junior playoffs. All that and more coming up on today's episode of the Locked On Senators podcast, your team every day.
Locked On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On Senators your first listen on this Tuesday, April 26th. And Pilsy, allow me to pray that we do not get hamburglared on this night of all nights.
Yeah, we don't want to get hamburglared again, especially 2 different teams that happening. That's definitely not what you want in one year. But luckily, the Sens are up against the New Jersey Devils, who they've got a couple major pieces missing from their lineup. So scoring shouldn't be too easy for them, especially with Forsberg in net. I mean, we got the Forsbergler against the Hamburglar. What's happening?
Oh, now we're talking Bill Masterton Award nominee,
yes.
Anton Forsberg. Stick Taps to Ian Mendez, great article about the history of Anton Forsberg with his father. Cool story. You mentioned that he met one of his idols at a pretty young age. And now that you mention it, I see a little bit of similarities between their games. Who was it?
Yeah, so Forsberg's dad, who is referenced as P.A. Forsberg in Ian Mendez's article on The Athletic. If you haven't checked it out, definitely go do that.
Père d'Anton?
I don't know.
Little en français. La père d'Anton?
Ah, there you go. But apparently he worked with Timra as when Anton Forsberg was a young kid, and Forsberg had the chance to meet and chat with Mika Kiprasov a bunch as a youngster. So you can kind of see how that helps a young goalie. And yeah, the perseverance Anton Forsberg has gone through. And we mentioned it yesterday, but you really got to give stick taps to his wife and young kids, because bouncing around like that is tough. And Forsberg, his dad, was positive. Positivity goes a long way. You guys know that. And if you stay positive and stick with it, you can achieve great things. And he landed in Ottawa and found a home here, and he's got a nice 3-year extension. So it's great to see Anton Forsberg getting some recognition with the Bill Masterton nomination.
We are not sure that Andrew Hammond is starting tonight. It's between him and Mackenzie Blackwood. We'll tell you about the full game preview later today, because you mentioned major injuries. Their 2 first overall picks, both down the middle, both out of the lineup in Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier. Probably makes Sens fans a little bit easier of the fact that they're dealing with injuries of their own. But we're going to save that all to the end, because why not get a boots on the ground recap of the Ottawa 67's game right off the bat today, because Pilsy, Tyler Boucher was very noticeable. I'd say second best player on the ice behind Brandon Coe of the North Bay Battalion. And he came so close to burying one on a 2-on-1, eh?
Oh, so close. He had a couple nice opportunities in front of the net. I really liked how the 67s had Boucher in the high slot for their power play as well. And you could tell they were focused on getting the puck to him. And but the North Bay Battalion did a really good job of kind of smothering any opportunity he had there. But that was an interesting game, because it was a sleepy first period. I mean, North Bay scores a fluke goal, kind of similar to Kastelik's goal against Montreal. Just a weird shot on net to start
behind the
game.
goal line.
Yeah, and everyone's just like, oh, okay. I hadn't even sat down yet, and there was a goal happening, and that definitely deflated the building. But it was my first time there, and it's a great OHL barn, like classic small barn feel. There's not a bad seat in the house, and we met a lot of great Sens and 67s fans there. So overall, it was a fun experience, but not the result we were looking for when you're down 2-0 in a playoff series and coming home.
Yes, but you mentioned 2 overtime goals. So the way the game went, Battalion went up 1-0, stayed that way through the second, although I thought the 6-7s definitely did a better job pushing the play and getting more opportunities on goal in that second period versus the first. And then they come out in the third and they give up a goal like 2 minutes in. Those momentum goals, pesky. And I turned to you, I was like, I don't know if they're even going to get one at this point. But classic junior hockey, nothing is set in stone until the buzzer goes. The 67 scored with 3.5 minutes left And then another one just seconds later with the goalie pulled.
Yep.
Cam Tolnai right out front, bang in the back of the net. But I feel like overtime, when they got that first one, North Bay leaves the ice. Pilsy, what did you say to me when it was officially no goal? The play was offside.
What a weird way to say that. When they got that first overtime goal. You don't hear that very often.
No.
But yeah, this is a weird one because let's describe the first overtime goal, though, because the North Bay Battalion player, he was skating backwards and the puck was not over the blue line yet. And so he skated it into the blue line backwards with his body crossing the line first. No call on the play. Then he just flips the puck on net like a muffin flip shot. And the 67's defenseman swats it down with his hand and knocks it directly in the net. So that's the OT winner. Everyone thinks it's done. North Bay's celebrating. 67's fans, some of them are leaving the building. We're all just like, oh, man.
The battalion captain was like ushering his players. He's like, get off the ice. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. He had reservations at Kraft after. He had to get there real quick to Selly. But yeah, so North Bay leaves the ice and then the refs are looking at it and they go to the timekeeper box. It shows on the replay and you see that he's potentially offside. And I think a lot of people were saying, well, he had possession of the puck, so it's going to count. But the refs took a long look at this. Then after the refs were done looking at it, the linesman went over to the timekeeper box to look at it as well. So when you're going through that much trouble to take a look at it, there's a chance it's going to get called back. We were losing our minds saying offside, offside, the no goal chance where it was the loudest the building got all game, that's for sure. And sure enough, no goal. Play goes on. So that's got to be a weird feeling if you're North Bay Battalion. You're celebrating, like they threw the gloves and the helmets up. They were hugging and cheering, and they left the ice. And now you got to come back on. And Ross, to answer your question, what I said to you is this is now a guaranteed Ottawa 67th win. I mean, how often at home you get scored on an OT, the other team does their full sally, they get all excited, and then they got to come back onto the ice. Probably a lot of guys started taking equipment off, so they got to suit back up. I thought for sure there's no way the 67s let that little nod from the hockey gods go. Minute later, North Bay scores again. I mean, it was like a 10-minute delay just to have the same result happen over again quickly. So that was very disappointing. But it was a cool experience for me. It was great that the 67s were at least able to get those 2 goals late and bring it to overtime. But Ross, I am not feeling good about this 67's team down 3-0. Oh, boy.
Yes, we do want to say thank you to Brandon Mackey for hooking us up. We appreciate that. I got some 67 swag fired up to bring that back to the peg with me. But they're down 3-0. But with Tyler Boucher, did have a goal and assist in game 2. He could have had a goal easily, had a few board-crushing hits. And I said board-shattering in the interview with them. But, man, the way the boards sound in Ottawa at the Civic Center – oh my God, you can hear they are extremely loud. He's also got 12 shots, which is a team high in the playoffs. It's actually top 10 in the OHL as well. So it's not lack of creating offense with Tyler Boucher. We'd probably like to see him stick handle a little bit less when he gets into the offensive zone. Just try to, play a little bit more of a simple game, but that'll come. I think next year is going to be a very solid year for him. And he is eligible once the season ends to join Belleville. Will he get into games? Is that the smartest play? He's got some lingering issues. Not sure. But they're down 3-0, so it must be said that he could join Belleville if and when the 67s are eliminated. All right, we're going to get to more prospect talk for Zach Ostapchuk. What's going on with Prince Albert? Is Carson Latimer leading them to an upset over the Winnipeg Ice? Probably not. But the Kingston Frontenacs have had a great start, and the 2 Sens prospects there have been a big reason for it. And, of course, this is Locked On Senators. We're going to talk about the big team as well. DJ Smith announcing some season-ending injuries now with only 3 games remaining, including tonight against the New Jersey Devils. So previews of all that coming up. But first, Pilsy, you have a word from one of our favorite sponsors.
Absolutely, Ross. And hey, we are at home now, and so luckily we're enjoying some home cooking from the Levitan family. We appreciate that. But if we didn't have that, the best option would be to get some HelloFresh. It's the #1 meal kit for America for a number of reasons, guys. It makes home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. You got all three in there. HelloFresh delivers pre-portioned ingredients to your door, including farm-fresh produce that arrives within a week. So you get your convenience without skimping on quality. That's key. Skip the trip to the grocery store, save waiting in long lines, and ensure you don't waste money on excess food. Everything is pre-portioned, so there's no waste. You gotta love that. They've got fit and wholesome recipes for satisfying nutrition meals, so you can get that summer bod and you can stay fit. You can feel good about 6 recipes per week to choose from, including low-calorie and carb-conscious options. Customize your favorite dishes with the new Hello Custom offering by swapping out one protein or side for another. I love that. Maybe one day you're feeling fries as a side, but then you're like, okay, let's have a salad the next day. You can do that with HelloFresh. More choices, more variety, and more meals truly tailored to you. HelloFresh is 72% cheaper than a restaurant meal of the same quality, and you get to make it at home. And you can save on average over $65 per month when you order HelloFresh instead of grocery shopping. That's money in your pocket. You gotta love that. Go to HelloFresh.com/LockedOn16 and use code LockedOn16 for up to 16 free meals. And they're not done there, giving you 3 free gifts as well. So check it out today, guys, at HelloFresh.com. It's HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
If you want to advertise with Locked On Senators, shoot us a message at Send Central on Twitter, LockedOn.Senators on Instagram, or subscribe to the YouTube channel. There is a business contact there. We appreciate it if you want to reach a local audience that is extremely passionate and here to support the local economy. Here on Locked On Senators, we've got the Send Central Citizens t-shirts. I'm rocking one right now. If you see it on YouTube, we had some great chats yesterday. We met Adam, we met Robert. Today we're going to go see Caleb as well. If you want your Send Central Citizen t-shirt, shoot us a message as well on Twitter at Send Central. All right, Pilsy, let's quickly go through the rest of the Senators prospects. We will also tell you that Belleville only has 1 game remaining on their AHL regular season schedule. So it's great that they've already clinched, because that would be a stressful week, just allowing all the other parts to play out. There's teams that still have 3 games remaining throughout this week, but no divisional matchups tonight. So we'll follow that storyline throughout the week as things continue. But how about Mark Kaslick playing in his 4th game in 6 days across 2 leagues tonight for the Ottawa Senators? I'll get Pilsy's take on that when we get to the lineups. But Pilsy, let's start with the team, I guess, with the most Senators content, the Kingston Frontenacs. Probably the best place to begin as well if we want to talk about a team that's winning their playoff series.
Yeah, from going to a 67 team that's down 0-3, how about the Frontenacs up 2-0? So that's definitely a nice change of pace there for some Sens prospects. And Ben Roger and Levi Meralainen hopefully get a lot of meaningful games and a deep playoff run here. And they're putting up 6 spots each game. So this is not a team that's struggling to score like the 67s. And Levi Meralainen, we know he plays his best when it comes down to crunch time, as he did overseas. His numbers were incredible. He is the breakaway stopper. He's a brick wall on breakaways, shootouts, penalty shots. So it's looking pretty good for the Kingston Frontenacs so far.
Yes, and even in the game he let in 4 goals, had almost 40 shots against. So you're feeling good, and then only had the 1 goal against right there before. So no, you like that. Even how about Ben Roger creating a little offense, getting a little primary assist?
There we go. Not just a big kid. He's got some hands.
Yes, absolutely. That's talking about a try-hard tire pump there. All right, we digress. We digress in that one. They're in action tonight against Oshawa, the first game in Oshawa. Now, quickly, Chandler Romeo, his 8 seed, they're down 2-0 to Windsor. And yeah, not going great there for Sarnia. You didn't expect it to. That 1-8 matchup is always tough, no matter how you look at
Especially
it. But
in junior hockey. Like, it's pretty bad usually.
Yes. The best storyline probably outside of Kingston and Levi Meralainen playing great is that Ridley Gregg's Brandon Wheat Kings were able to upset Red Deer one of the 2 games on the road. He's still working his way back from injury. Still hasn't had any contribution on the score sheet. Hopefully he gets a little boost playing on home ice tonight. They'll host Red Deer at 8 o'clock, game 3, tied at 1 in the series.
So the points streak is snapped then, Ross, unfortunately.
Yes, it is. It lasted 12 games, and now he's 2 straight without 1. So Ridley's got to get back in his bag of tricks. No penalties, though, in this one. He had the 2 minors in his first game back, so he's calming that down, which is nice to see.
Yeah.
In the other 1-8 matchup, you say how hard it is. Vancouver Giants tied at 1 with Everett after 2 games, and Zach Ostapchuk has 4 assists in the 2 games. So that's probably the most productive Sens prospect so far this postseason. Nothing from Carson Latimer either. Nothing from Prince Albert. 2-0. Winnipeg leads that series. They win the games 3-1 and 5-2. All right, people want to hear about the Ottawa Senators. It's always good to talk prospects, but a lot of the best prospects are already up and sitting in the press box. Unfortunately, when you're thinking of Jake Sanderson right now, doesn't it feel like so long ago that Tyler Clevin won the Penrose Cup for the team? Like, North Dakota college hockey's been over so long, and the OHL and WHL, they're just starting their postseason play. Neither here nor there, but we got to get into tonight's Sens and Devils game. I want to touch on some potential milestones that could be hit as well. But let's drive on over there with a quick word from our friends at Rock Auto. There's ever increasing prices, and the problem is when you go into a shop, they have the same way to find more products, but the only difference is they're stuck with what their warehouse provides. You have the exact same way to go find all the parts available that you need. They have amazing selection at Rock Auto. They have reliably low prices. And when you go to rockauto.com, you're also supporting a family business. Why choose to spend up to 30, 50, even 100% more for the same parts from a chain store or car dealership? Support a family business that has reliably low prices for every customer. Literally everything you need is there. Brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, even new carpet. And go explore their easy-to-use website. You can do it on your mobile device or at home on your desktop computer. All we ask is that you go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck. Just write Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box. That way, they know that we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. Visit rockauto.com. All right, Pillsy, it's an Ottawa Senators game day in the nation's capital. We'll have boots on the ground tonight, so if you see us, come say hi at the Canadian Tire Center. And shout out Evan, Sens Central citizen, messages us yesterday. He works at the CTC, says he's going to the washroom there, non-game day, so it's pretty empty. There's just, the regular workers. And he hears Locked On Senators on the loudspeaker. So if you're listening to this, taking a whiz at the CTC, hello. How are you? We'll see you tonight. But that's awesome that we've infiltrated the CTC.
Yeah, I mean, hey, boots on the ground a couple days, and now we're on the loudspeakers. That's absolutely great. And it was funny how he messaged us though, Ross, because he's like, "Yeah, I'm at a rink and they're playing your podcast." We're like, "Oh, which rink are you at?"
Yeah,
like,
at Sandy Hill.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's some small town rink in the Ottawa area. Oh, just the CTC. All right, not a big deal.
Nice. Yes, we absolutely love to see that. I got to go into the gift store tonight because I feel like it's still Fan Appreciation Week. Got to get myself something here tonight. So that's before the game. But during the game, we've got a big one. I'm going to create this into a big game because the Ottawa Senators, Pilsy, have a chance for the first time since 2017 to win 4 games in a row. So why not? Why not us? Why not now? Why not?
I can't argue that. Why not us? Why not now? And hey, if there's ever a time to do it, it's up against this New Jersey Devils team, because we mentioned it off the top. How about missing not 1 first overall pick, but 2 first overall picks? So they definitely have their work cut out for them. And if you're watching on YouTube, Ross has the lines pulled up here, so I'll just quickly go through them. I feel like I always butcher this guy's name, but Igor Sharangovich. Did I hit
Nailed
that
it.
one, Ross? Sharangovich. Let's go with Dawson Mercer. And how about Jesper Bratt? This kid is absolutely on fire. 70 points in 73 games. It's a contract season for him. Cha-ching. Hello for the smaller forward, but he puts the puck in the back of the net. Then second line, you got Andreas Janssen with Bokvist and Thomas Tatar. Tatar. And then you got Foot with Pavel Zacha and Kukkonen. Then this team is so desperate, Ross. They're doing the Victor Mete method. They've got Ty Smith, one of their younger offensive defensemen, on the left wing for the 4th line here with McLeod and Bastian. Now to the decor, Ryan Graves, a guy that we would have loved to see in the Sens uniform, Ross?
Yeah.
And he's with Damon Severson. Then you got Ball with Dougie Hamilton.
Good luck with this one.
Oh, Ross. This is Okhotyuk.
Somebody's going to correct you. Former 67. Playing with PK Subban, though.
Yeah, he is with Subban on the bottom pair there. Apologies. My pronunciation on that one was definitely very brutal. And then in goal, possibly the Hamburglar? Huh?
Maybe?
Huh? And Mackenzie Blackwood is the other attendee there, so it's very likely he could get in net there too. So as you can see from this line, they are missing a lot of young talent up fronts, and they're on a 3-game losing streak as it is. So they've had a tough go lately, and the Senators, they're on a 3-game winning streak and at home. So the vibes are good, and if I could make any recommendations, I would head to betonline.net and put a couple shekels on the Sens here because they're still feeling themselves.
Oh, they're feeling themselves for sure. My lookout player, if we can go there already, is Dawson Mercer, because you're looking at a lineup that's void of a lot of their young talent. Not with Dawson Mercer. That guy is an absolute stud. I remember him from that 2020 draft, our pre-rankings, and we're like, it doesn't make sense for Ottawa. He's probably in that range right below where those 2 first-rounders, and he wouldn't be on the board at 28. And you're just like, some team's going to get lucky in the teens. Yeah. And I actually couldn't believe he slipped all the way to 18th in that draft. He's played his rookie year. He's slowed down. You expect that, though. Think of a lot of players. They get that initial bump, and then not a sophomore slump per se yet, but things slow down a little bit. Still over 40 points as a rookie. Played 79 games. He's in the dashes, but again, you expect that from a younger player here on a team that's struggling to get wins. A good newfie. We know we got a lot of newfies listening to the show, so we got to give a shout out there to a good old guy in Dawson Mercer as well. 40 points, man. And if you look at his last year in the queue too, 49 games at 80 points, 78 points in 40 some odd games. So he's a stallion, great skater. That's what you're going to notice from him. His skating, his transition ability. But like a lot of young guys, if you're the Sens, try to clean him out in the face-off circle. Don't allow him those extra possessions. Yeah,
and I think Dawson Mercer, some of his struggles too, Ross, are happening with Hughes and Hischier out, right? Because he's had to play a much more elevated role than maybe he's prepared to. So he's done a good job stepping up to the challenge there. And obviously he's doing something right if he's able to keep Jesper Bratt at that scoring pace. And I feel like all 3 Devils games, Ross, he was your lookout player. So he's definitely someone that, you've had your eye on.
But Pillsy, no points in a little while here. In the last 5 games, he's -8 with no points. You actually have to go back even further for his last points. He's on an 8-game pointless streak, and he's -9 in those 8 games, 19 shots on goal. So he's still getting the puck around the net, averaging just over 16 minutes. But the production's really dropped off from what it was at the start of the year. But a lot of talent nonetheless. So you're right. I feel like this is a trend for me here, getting Dawson Mercer as my lookout player.
Hey, he's a fun player to watch, so I don't blame you. My lookout player is going to be a guy on the back end, and I think it was a broken jaw. He missed a lot of the season, and that's Dougie Hamilton. I mean, the Devils, they went out big, and they gave him a massive contract. I'm looking at it now, $9 million. I think it was like 7 years at $9 million. So they really said, all right, it's time to shore up this defense, and especially with PK Subban on the way out, that's $9 million they're going to make up for there. And Dougie Hamilton is a solid player. I always respect him. He's one of the best offensive defensemen in the league. He's incredible at getting pucks on net, and with that allows chaos. Like if you have defense, and DJ Smith talks about it all the time, right? If we're going to have success here, we need our defensemen to get pucks on net, and that's something that Dougie Hamilton does better, I'll say it, than almost any defenseman in the entire league. Maybe Roman Josi, guys like that are comparable to him, but he's someone you need to watch out for. So I'm going to be looking out for Dougie Hamilton tonight.
Good news, Pillsy. Breaking news from head coach Lindy Ruff. Always weird seeing Lindy Ruff as the Devils head coach. The Senators will not be getting hamburgled tonight. Mackenzie Blackwood starts in goal. I got to see Mackenzie Blackwood once this year, and I want to pull up. It was at the start of the season. He allowed 2 goals on 8 shots and played less than a period in an 8-4 loss in Winnipeg. So that's my only. He was also in net against Ottawa earlier this year. The shootout loss where Timmy went 5-hole, had a great move to win that shootout in New Jersey. But he gets a start tonight. He's lost his last 2 games, Pillsy. In his last 2 games, oh boy, he's got an .843 save percentage. He's allowed 8 goals on 51 shots. So hopefully Ottawa can take advantage of a struggling netminder there. He's been kind of off and on with injuries. He's been limited to only 23 games this year. He's 9-9 with a .329 goals against and an .894 save percentage. So that allows opportunity for the Ottawa Senators, who have recalled Mark Kastelic, or Kastelic. I feel like the team is calling him that. The broadcast, we might have to recalibrate that one.
Ross, I thought I heard Gord Miller say that his dad went by Kastelic and Mark has now changed it to Kastelic, but I could be wrong on that. I think that's what I heard.
Okay, we got to reach out. I feel like Footy's the guy to ask for this.
Footy would know. We'll get on that. Yeah.
That's our goal for today, to give the good listener the proper pronunciation. But DJ Smith is saying Kastelic. Maybe he knew his dad from back in the day. Who knows? Not that he gets every name right. I feel like Schlappick had a tough time with DJ Smith. Yeah, getting to learn his name. But he and Scott Sabourin are back up. What do you think of, before I go through the lines, if you're watching on YouTube, lines already up, check out those injuries. My goodness, so many good players. Sheesh. That being said, what do you think of Mark Kastelic? 4th game in 6 days across 2 leagues.
An absolute beauty. Like this guy, and not Ross, he's not just showing up. No. He's scoring goals. He's fighting. He's clinching playoff spots. Like this guy, he's doing it all. Like he's been truly incredible. So we can't say enough about him. And I love him on this 4th line, especially him and Sabourin. Like eventually, we'll probably see Kelly as that other winger with them, but that's going to be one hell of a line. Or Sabourin probably not going to be up in the NHL now. If we're being honest, although if he keeps on this pace with those apples,
2 points in his last 1 game.
Yeah, exactly. There's a streak. Yep. Probably Watson going to be taking his place, but
a 3-period streak.
Yeah, you'll love to see it. But yeah, stick taps to Kastelic. Like that is incredible.
All right, here's the projected lines for tonight's match against the New Jersey Devils, where the Senators can win a 4th straight game for the first time in 5 seasons. It was at the end as well of that 2017 season. It would give you a nice little feeling going into the offseason, but as we learned from last year's hot ending, it doesn't mean jack. But Josh is centering the top line. It's Josh Norris in between Brady Tkachuk and Drake Batherson, the second line. Tim Stützle between Alex Formenton and Adam Gaudette. Alex and Adam, I got real in a pickle there. Stützle, Formenton, Gaudette. Third line is Dylan Gambrell between Parker Kelly and Austin Watson. And then Mark Kastelic between Chris Tierney and Scott Sabourin. We're going to get to see Thomas Chabot paired with Travis Hamonic again. Of course, it was a last-minute addition to Saturday's game, so I'm going to be really looking forward to seeing their chemistry, as Claire Hanna had a fantastic question for Hamonic, who maybe undercover speaks French, being Métis from Manitoba. So they asked him if he's ever had a French D partner before. So it was kind of cool. He said, no, never. And I'm looking forward to it. So nice. Chabot and Hamonic, Brandstrom and Zub, and Holden with Zaitsev. So free MDZ once again. Delzato, the healthy scratch. Oh, I didn't even put Mete. Oops, he's also a healthy scratch in this one. Anton Forsberg starts in goal. Unbelievable that on this team, he has 20 wins, 17 losses, and 4 OT losses, a .282 goals against, and a .917 save percentage. Pilsy, your locked-on player tonight.
I mean, how do you go anywhere but Mark Kastelic? Like, this guy has been absolutely electric. He's on a heater, not only scoring his first NHL career goal, but his second in the same game. And if him and Sabourin continue to have that chemistry, like he had primary assists on both of those goals. So I don't see a reason why up against a New Jersey Devils team like this, especially when you look at the 4th line he's going up against. There's a defenseman as a winger.
Did I say 4 games in 6? It's 4 games in 5 days.
5, yes. Yeah, so that is intense. So yeah, he's definitely a locked-on player. Hopefully he gets another goal. I wouldn't, let's see a Gordie Howe hat trick for him. I wouldn't be surprised. He almost had it last time, so I'm going to be looking out for him.
Okay.
Locked on to him, I should say. All
right, I'm going to say he plays less than 10 minutes, though. I think DJ is going to be pretty aware of how much hockey he's played recently. He only played 9 minutes against Montreal, but it was the damage he did in that short amount of time that allowed him to be successful For me, I'm going to go with Alex Formenton because he's coming off a great goal against Montreal, a shorty, and he's even picked it up further since Connor Brown was a late scratch in that game. You're like, oh no, he's without his partner in crime on the PK. What's he going to do? Well, pulls back into the shorthanded lead for most shorties in the NHL, not on the Sens, in the NHL. So I'm not only going for him because of that reason, but it also leads us into the next conversation that I want to have, because he went on that cold streak and you're like, oh no, is he hitting a wall? What's going on with Alex Formenton? Well, now he's got 18 goals on the season. And if he hits 20, man, you get 420 goal scorers. I think you're starting to feel pretty good about what that means when they're all 22 years or younger. And when I say or younger, Formenton, Brady, and Norris are all 22. Or younger means Tim Stützle at 20 years old, who already hit 20 goals. But Formenton, 18 goals in the season. I'm locked on him tonight. Should be an offensive game. I'm betting the over at betonline.net. And I want to see one, if not two, from Formy. Get that 20-goal plateau, buddy, and do it quick.
Yeah, and Ross, two of those guys you mentioned, Josh Norris and Alex Formenton, nice time to hit some good milestones as they're up for contract, RFAs.
Yes,
so it's going to be very... I feel like we're not talking enough about what Alex Formenton's next contract will be like. I know, obviously, Josh Norris's contract kind of clouds that and is of much more importance. Your number one center and a 30-plus goal scorer. But Alex Formenton, this guy's got intangibles, the speed, the ability to be an offensive threat on the penalty kill, and he's got some grittiness to his game too, which we saw a good amount of that on Saturday when they got a little chippy against Montreal.
Yeah, who was he giving it to?
I forget.
Yeah, he was a defenseman. Somebody was going after Timmy, and he's like, no.
Yeah, and Formenton wanted to drop the gloves, and then they were chatting, and then the ref gets in the way, and then the Montreal guy decides to be a tough guy and starts shaking his hand. Like, wow, sick move, buddy.
Very shocking. I like that, though. So what are some other milestones you're looking at for this season? Is there anything that jumps out when you look at it? Like, obviously, Formenton's sitting at 18 goals right now. Do you think for a second we thought 60 for Timmy? I think that's probably a little far-fetched now. He's 7 away with only 3 games remaining.
Well, I got a much more minor milestone here, Ross, but it's still very interesting. How about Austin Watson sitting at 9 goals? He's 1 away from 10. He's only got double digits once in his career, and he got 14 goals 2017, 2018 with Nashville. That's not bad. Shooting at a 15% or 14.5% success rate there. So, hey, we've been talking about it. Austin Watson. He's kind of changing his style of game, not really just a big enforcer out there. He's able to score some goals and some nice ones too. So let's see. Let's see Austin Watson get double digits for the second time in his career. I'd love to see that.
I like that a lot, and wow, he's really, putting himself on the right track for that. If we go back to that goal he scored against Detroit, that's 6 goals and 9 points in his last 13 games, while averaging only 12.5 minutes. So that's definitely a good little boost of confidence. And you mentioned yesterday the video they put out when it comes to mental health and battling addiction, that he and his partner Jen have really been front and center of supporting and discussing the importance of that. So, you know what? That's a great little milestone that you've got there, Pillsy. 10. How about a milestone? How about getting Eric Branstrom 1 goal in the season?
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because that needs to happen. I mean, sure, with Thomas Chabot back, he's not going to enjoy the same opportunities and luxuries of being a top defenseman playing on the top power play unit as well. But you got to get 1. I mean... like Brandy moves pucks, how about moving 1 puck into the net? Let's try that.
Yes, I would agree with that. So I'm going to be really eyeing that. Brandy's at 50 games right now, 13 assists,
and 81 shots, Ross. Like it's like
I know, man. He's got 1 less shot on goal than Austin Watson in 14 less games. And Watson, I know he's a forward, but has 9 tucks. Artem Zub has 6 goals on 86 shots. If you're going for defensemen, the only defensemen with more shots than Branstrom are Chabot and Zub. Yeah. That's it. Even Nick Holden, look at a defensive defenseman who's played 23 more games, 10 less shots, 5 more goals. Even Nikita Zaitsev has 2 goals this year.
I think that
I was building up to Nikita Zaitsev, who will return tonight after missing the game on Saturday. What are your thoughts on Del Zotto being the odd man out of this 6D core?
Lame. Super lame. Like
Who would
I
you have
said,
taken out?
Zaitsev. Keep
Right.
Zaitsev out of there. I mean,
Yeah.
I said it last time. It was an absolute treat to watch this Sens decor without Zaitsev. And one more thing I want to touch on while we're talking about MDZ. I think the notion of people suggesting that they should buy out MDZ is kind of silly. Like, he's shown he can be a great AHL defenseman, which is not what you signed him for. He's making way too much money for that. I know. I'm just starting with that. So at the very worst, he can help out your young guys on the back end. But he's also shown he's not a bad defenseman in the NHL. Like, if he had to be the 6'7" guy and you got to sit him in the press box every once in a while, I don't think that's an issue at all. And how are we looking at buying out a guy with 1 year left at $2 million when you got Colin White, Nikita Zaitsev, Matt Murray? Like, there are so many other options, and you're hardly saving any money doing that. So I think even the notion of buying out MDZ it doesn't make sense at all to me.
Yeah, I think it's pretty silly as well. Just getting back to milestones, one underrated one here, and 2 out of 3 games. I mean, it's a lot to ask, but when's the last time an Ottawa Senators player had 10 game-winning goals on a season? Right now, Josh Norris is sitting at 8. No other Senator has more than 4.
I mean, it's not crazy to think, especially like you look at the games left. New Jersey, there could be a game-winning goal happening there. Philly, definitely a game winner. Florida,
you skipped one.
Not, but yeah, that one's probably not going to happen there, but it's possible.
The last milestone that I wanted to bring up, and maybe this isn't even a milestone, but Drake Batherson has 42 points in 43 games. I would love to see him finish at a point per game or better.
Yes, yeah, that would be great. And hey, if Norris gets those game-winning goals, it's very likely that Batherson is an assist on them.
Yes, 100%. So the Senators, we'll touch on that continually down the stretch here as we go on, and Anton Forsberg continuing to impress in net. I'm excited to watch him up close and personal tonight. Philip Gustafsson has been recalled as well. He'll back up tonight for Ottawa after being the goalie to clinch the playoff spot for Belleville. Great to see a guy who's been in Belleville for 3.5 years, 4 years now. So I think that's great that he was the guy for Belleville to get over the hump there and get into the postseason. We'll be your number 1 spot for all Belleville Sens playoff coverage. We're going to make sure to follow that as closely as we can. Also, tonight's game, you can follow us at Sens Central. We'll put up some stuff. It's going to be a lot more tame than Saturday was, but we're looking forward to watching the game here. Senators hockey on home ice against the New Jersey Devils. Pilsy, let's wrap up with a key to victory from you.
Nice. I'm glad you asked, because we did talk about the 2 first overall picks, both centermen missing from this lineup. Well, Ross, even with them in the lineup, this team is absolutely atrocious in the face-off dot. They're sitting at 31st in the league with a 46.7% face-off success. Now, I say that as the Senators are 1.2% better in the faceoff dot, but that doesn't matter. They've got most of their guys up the middle here, at least Timmy and Josh. So take advantage of this weaker lineup down the middle. And I want to see Josh Norris dominate Dawson Mercer in the dot. I want to see Timmy build some momentum in the faceoff dot so that he can head into next year feeling a little bit better about being the centerman. So that's going to be my key to victory, is win the faceoffs and you can control this game. Like the Devils don't have enough pace, enough guys that can really put you on your heels if you've got the puck, possessing it most of the time. So win the faceoff battle here. That's going to be my key to victory.
Pilsy preaching face-offs. Why do I feel
I
like
love face-offs, yeah.
Not only that, but I mean, the Devils really, they've had so many long stretches of losing. They actually had a decent start to the year. They were kind of win 1, lose 1, win 2, lose 1, that sort of thing. But they had that huge losing streak in the end of January. They lost 7, 8 in a row. And I really don't feel like they've recovered since January 2nd or January 23rd. Call this an arbitrary date. I don't really care. They have 12 wins in their last 40 games. 12, 25, and 3. Was my math good on that? Or 40 games? 12 wins in their last 40 games.
Math guys. Yep. I'll say that's good.
Yeah, no, that's confirmed. All right, okay. And they've got 3 games left as well. They're at Ottawa tonight, at Carolina on Thursday, and then they finish a back-to-back as well at home to Detroit on Friday. But the way I'm looking at this team, they give up so much. So just try to create some offense. Let's get the goal horn going as many times as it happened on Saturday night, and we'll be all set from there. I just want to get in there and sell some more. And, maybe this is me just going off my memories of them allowing 8 goals in Winnipeg earlier this year. But I feel like they get moving around defensively. They've got 2 very young defensemen. Both of those 67s are extremely young. Now my term to butcher the name there, but Oktokyok, he's playing his 3rd NHL game tonight. And Kevin Ball has 21 under his belt, 14 this season. So try to attack that side because they've got some vets on the other one with PK Subban, although a shell of the P. Do we still boo PK Subban? I need a.
I'm kind of over it.
Yeah. It's been so many years. It was fun to boo him when he was doing all his spinoramas all the time for no reason with Montreal.
Yeah, and missing his reverse, or not reverse hits, but his back leaning hits.
I've got a tie-in to our game day giveaway, courtesy of @Fighting Stutza. Remember when PK Subban tried to fight Kyle Turris out of nowhere?
Yeah.
In the play, and you're like, what are you doing, man? It's Kyle Turris, and that's what we're giving away today. A signed Kyle Turris card. We are about to put that up on Twitter. That giveaway will go live. No postcast tonight in all likelihood, unless something wild happens. We got to get to the game, get home, all that great stuff. Maybe we'll put out a video the way we did the other night, although again, tonight is going to be a little more tame. But if you want this signed Kyle Turris jersey card, wait, there's no, I'm thinking New Jersey. If you would like this Kyle Turris card
there you go,
autographed, then go to our Twitter, retweet it, follow the right accounts, make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Senators on YouTube, and we will do that giveaway tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Anything else today, Pilsy?
Go Sens, go.
All right. Enjoy the game. If you see us at the rink, come say hi. For Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. This has been the Locked On Senators podcast, your team every day.